Hi there. Welcome to another episode of Be Courageous. I'm Tony Barton.
And I'm Terri Rogers.
And we are in Wichita at the Kansas GOP convention, meeting lots of people, kind of redoing and old relationships. And it's just been interesting to see and hear from people. But it's just been really good. And we have Michael Austin here with us right now. And boy, there's been a lot going on. Changes, new things happening. So, how you been?
Oh, I've been doing quite all right. It's been a whirlwind of a year. And that goes for everybody almost, right? When you think about all the government mandates and intrusions we've been seeing, but we just do our best to keep it together and keep our focus on our faith in the Lord and just trying to do the best for ourselves and our families.
You know that, and it's been one of these things because we've not done episodes for a while. We've had that whole time frame where we're dealing with all the same kinds of stuff in regards to the lockdowns, and unfortunately I've had a couple people I know pass away, so there's funerals and there's families, and there's been outside of just our own family situations that we've been going through. So you're exactly right, and I tell you what, if you don't have God to hold on to, I don't know just how you're going to make it through, because it's been a real trying time for everyone.
Sure.
But you're on to something new, or you're pursuing something new?
Yes. Well, okay. So for almost a year now, I was running for state office, Kansas State Treasurer. About a month ago, I suspended that, and I still want to help. I still want to find a way that we can help Kansas Joes and Janes out there, because clearly so much needs to be done. And now we see that we're in an economy with massive inflation. We see government wanting to intrude into everything like currencies. We see parents who feel like they have no other option in terms of their educational opportunities for their children. There's so much work to be done. If there's anything I can do to help move the needle in the right direction,
That's fantastic.
the better.
And we were discussing this when Chris Van Metteren was here. You realize that this is Putin's fault.
Somehow.
I'm just telling you what our president said, that it's Putin's fault. I don't know if that's where we need to start or just what we need to do with that, but evidently it's not this current administration's doing. They have no part or role to play. Jen Psaki, she communicated the same thing. I'm just lost. I don't know. Do we need to go over to Russia, or what needs to happen?
Thinking it's fine to just spend taxpayer dollars without end. It's kind of like thinking you can drive across the country without getting an oil change. The economy, kind of like a car, will break down or it will overheat. And lo and behold, that's exactly what's happening here.
We're being gaslit a little bit, I guess is what
a little bit, a lot. I mean, that's the entire point of the spin, is to make you think that you're crazy and that they have everything under control, when in reality they don't. And
it's so obvious.
It is. You just go to the gas pump, you go to checkout. Everybody can see how prices are just skyrocketing. And I'm sorry, no Russian oligarch is in charge of that. It's America, right?
Thank you. When he said that, I don't know if I had something in my mouth that I about lost, and I'm going, this is unbelievable. So you're exactly right.
Yeah, it's true. I heard toothpaste is going to get up to $10 a tube if inflation keeps going the way it is.
I heard that too. In fact, I told Arlene that is something we need to get, but she said we already had plenty. So I don't know what that means.
Well, you can stock up on lots of things, their expiration dates, but if you get it now, it's going to be cheaper than later. I don't know. Where do you see inflation going, Michael?
Oh, don't ask me to make a prediction. There's a reason why God created economists, and it's to make weather forecasters look good.
I hear you.
I can't predict anything, but what I can tell you is that there are so many factors in play that unless they get settled, I don't see inflation stopping anytime soon. As an example, if I may, we've seen so much money given to American families to spend. And to spend and spend and to spend. It's the reason why we had a port issue, remember with the San Francisco and Los Angeles ports were all stocked up. And yet at the same time, we've also been giving money for people not to work.
I can't believe that.
People are demanding more goods and services, but there are fewer people to make those goods and services, right? Supply and demand means prices will have to, keep reaching higher until we can get that balance up.
So we're going to see an increase in inflation before things get better. Meaning things are going to get worse before they get better.
The only thing that can stop it, I think, is stopping all of these spending programs.
Spending.
If you can stop that, inflation will most likely stop.
And stop printing money.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, we can't just keep doing that. I know that as an economist, you think about numbers a lot, but I know as a very smart man who cares about a lot, there are other topics too that are close to your heart. CRT, school choice, would you like to discuss anything there?
Yeah, school choice is a really big one. I've always been a school choice supporter, never had any issues about that. But, in the last 2 years when the education governor was the first governor to close down schools, that was kind of a wake-up call for me that something needs to be, done differently. And it's one of the principal reasons why I decided to run for treasurer, even though I never had any political experience before. I felt like I had to do something.
Sure.
And you know what? Many parents across Kansas and the nation felt like they also had to do something. And I think it's one of the reasons why we've seen such a wave of good school board candidates win office. And I think that we should take that momentum and keep pushing to get true school choice options for families out there.
Well, in school choice, to know that you can take your child and put them in a school that's going to do better by them and for them is huge. But you also have, whether it's KNEA and these other organizations that fight that the entire time, they are not supportive of parents putting their kids in good schools. They're not supportive of school choice. And that's been a huge battle. Even when I was in the legislature, it was a battle. The other thing is curriculum. And I was hoping I'd see Danny Zeck here so that he can talk about what he experienced at the school board meeting. But curriculum where they're trying to teach kids things that they have no business even learning in public school, which would be even more of a reason for school choice for parents to go ahead and either pull their kids out. I know they can't homeschool or so on and so forth, but to find some place to put their child where they're not going to be exposed to that. And it's not always private school. Private schools are, and some of them are doing the same exact thing.
Exactly
they're
right.
teaching kids things that they shouldn't be taught. So I love school choice. I agree with you 100%. But what do? You look for a school that they can go to. You change school boards. You remove curriculum.
Now, I'll say this, there's a good quote by economist Thomas Sowell. He says, there are no perfect solutions, there are only trade-offs, right? So if you're searching for an ideal, keep looking, you're not going to find it.
Okay.
All you have to do is find a policy that makes people a little bit better off than where they were before. And when it comes to school choice, the reason why I like it so much is, as a conservative, we love free markets, right? Because we love that sense of competition. A business can understand if it's providing you a bad service because you don't spend your money there anymore, right? And that's its trigger to change and do something different. What if our schools were that way, right? I'm not saying that we give money to private schools. What if we give that money to the parents?
Yeah, exactly. The
And
money follows the child.
Yes,
Absolutely.
and we let them choose where schools will go. And if there's a family, let's say out in western Kansas, where there are not many options, guess what? There's now an incentive for a school to pop up in western Kansas because parents have money to spend and send their children there. So by creating that competition and accountability, that hard word, accountability that's so hard to get into the school system, we can really make change. And I think what makes it different this time is that parents are now involved.
They are.
And in all of that, and I tell you what, the unions are fit to be tied, and school boards are fit to be tied because parents are finally stepping up to the plate here.
Sure, and
I agree.
They need to keep stepping up, and it takes courage to step up because these parents are being labeled domestic terrorists. They're being,
Which is ridiculous.
well, of course it is, and it's all intimidation.
Sure.
They realize that parents across the nation have awakened, and they don't like it, and all they've got in their toolbox is intimidation, and that's happening in other areas too, to keep good people from running for office, and so we just have to be courageous. Pardon the.
No, I get it. Yeah.
But we have to be
I know.
courageous and fight through this.
No, you're exactly right. And I think the fact that the union's strategy here is to gaslight or intimidate parents, I think is ultimately going to backfire. You're going to tell a mama and a papa bear out there that no, you don't have a say in what goes on in the classroom. You don't need to know what's going on, or you need to trust me no matter what. I mean, that sounds like a recipe for disaster.
It is a
So
recipe
by all
for
means,
disaster.
let's have them keep doing that because they're making the message for us.
True.
And all we need to do is push a message of transparency because any parent out there, doesn't matter whether you're Democrat, Independent, Republican, any parent just wants to have an idea that their children are being taken care of and are learning things to make them a productive citizen in the future.
Sure. You know, we had a pretty contentious race in Lansing for school board, Lansing, Kansas. And if memory serves, I could be wrong about this, but I thought I saw something about once the new folks that the people we wanted to be elected were, but then there was an orientation, and I think that KSB, Kansas Association of School Boards, made a presentation to them. And, you know, some of their views are not quite in alignment with us. Where is another organization to give these newly elected folks an alternate view? Or we're never going to be able to change, I think, the views of KNEA.
No.
But if we get good people in, and the first thing that happens is, you know, welcome, and here's your orientation.
Yeah.
By the folks that are maybe disseminating information that may not jive with what we would like to see. I just wonder how long can good people resist that once they get in office?
You're right, and it's one of the reasons why I took it upon myself to help out. You know, recently elected school board members understand their school budgets.
Great.
Doing what I can control to help push back that narrative, but that problem is still there. And I think, you know, just ultimately it's a bit Sisyphean, right? You're pushing that boulder up a hill. It's a bit of a lost cause, but if you can give parents a voice, right, then ultimately they will have the power to make that change. Doesn't matter what the, you know, associated school boards may want to push, they'll be voted out anyway if you keep those parents involved.
Right.
Happened in San Francisco.
Amen. That's right. Yes.
Happened in San Francisco,
Yes.
so it is possible. If it can happen there, it can happen anywhere.
That's right.
So
Anywhere.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, Mike, thank you so much for just spending a little time. It's always good to have you, and you're interesting. Got great things to
Yes.
say, and we appreciate
Well, I
your
really
insights.
Yeah,
I really
thank you
do.
for being here.
Well, thank you for having me. Until next time, of course.
That's
Until
right.
next time, of course. Until next time, be courageous.